Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a brand new video. It's your boy on Fireman, and today we are basically continuing with our plan into doing pressure. We're adding basically a new layer to our plan, and last time I talked about how to basically loop your pressure with the bread and butter combo, right? Dash into bread and butter, or basically if you catch them with a grab, right? You do your own, drive rush into this, right? So, we have a few loopable options, right? And they loop into themselves. So that was the idea mainly. Now, that plan is pretty much one-dimensional, right? So you do this. If it hits, you keep going with the spiral arrow. If it doesn't connect, you go for the grab. At some point, it becomes obvious, right? It becomes how do I say, one-dimensional basically describes it perfectly. Now the idea here is we want to add a different dimension. We want to add a different threat. We want to add something that your opponent haven't seen before, right? So at this point I want to introduce basically the cross up, right? And the cross up button for cammy is light kick, right? So in midair you're going to cross up with light kick. Now when would you use this in particular, right? In this scenario, since there are multiple ways to use it. However, to be consistent with our plan, we're basically going to use it after the on block, right? So it's always on block. So on block, basically we stop here, right? Since our opponent blocked everything, and at this point we can cross up in this distance. So we can go boom, right? And that's mainly if you're following the plan, obviously you can do it from here, right? And then introduce a new layer from there, a new layer of attack basically. However, if you're confident in yourself, you can basically do something like this, right? You can dash up into a cross up and mess up his spacing, right? Yeah, it's definitely a huge mix up the potential with the cross up. It's extremely important to know how to cross up your opponent. So at this point I'm gonna talk in more details about the cross up. Now, crossing up your opponent, you have three different options, and they are extremely powerful. So basically you have four. So you can basically cross up grab, right? So this is the first thing, you cross up grab. You want to start with that mainly. I like to start with it, but feel free to use any of the other options. Now the second option is cross up lights, and then you have empty cross up. You're not gonna press the light kick here, you're not gonna press it, right? And you're gonna go for a gimmick crouching light kick. The reason why is basically if they're guarding your cross up, they have to stand up, right? So if they're blocking it, they need to be basically where is it? Oh, this one. So at this point they're blocking standing, right? So they need to basically block it. Like if they don't crouch, and you're basically in their mind they're going basically, okay, he's gonna cross up, let me stand up, right? So he stands up and you go boom, and you catch him standing. So this is the idea behind it. So empty cross up into, right? Well, at this point, right? So block. You go for an empty into a crouch light into light into spiral arrow. So these are your three options. Now if he does if you notice that he techs after your jump here, and you notice that, oh, this guy techs, right? So you can do something like this into vertical jump. So let's make our boy here just to basically showcase what I mean here. So with the normal throw into this, so we can do something like this, right? Oh, the count is 2, so let's make the count 1, and so we can do so, right? Obviously he's doing it a lot faster, right? But you can catch people off guard with it, so you can do something like this. And yeah, so these are the four options. Again, the vertical one, I'm not really that fan of it, but again, it could work, right? It could work. So the only thing that I want to talk about now is this option, right? Cross up into lights. So this one has a little bit of optimization that I want to introduce, and the reason why I want to talk about, so we can do something like this, right, into pressure. So this is the reason why it's important. So on hit, you want to go for so after crouching, and then you go crouch into jumping light kick, into light punch, into back medium punch, basically back medium punch target combo, into, you know, the air combo there. So train this, right? Make sure you're comfortable with it. So this, make sure you're comfortable with it, and once you are comfortable with it, you go next, you go for random, right? You go for random, and if he doesn't, basically you go for full lights there, and you can go from lights, you can go again, right, again, this is your options here. So hit, right, and then so the idea here is, if the hit is not connected, you're only going to react to this hit, you're only going to react to this. If this is right, if it doesn't hit like that time, you're going to go into full lights. If it hits, again, it didn't hit, it hits, we're going basically into our combo there. So these are your options. Train them well. It's extremely important to have different layers for your offense. Again, I'm gonna go into more details about other options there, but for now, let's go one way, I mean 1 point at a time, 1 layer at a time, and yeah, enjoy.